105.7.
It's the Magic Morning Show, 800-669-1057, 578-1057. Your number's into the studio. Email us anytime, morningshow@WMJI.com, and the text line is 37337. Make sure you put magic there at the beginning of that text. Great Lakes Theater, we get the $1 Million Quartet. We've got 2 members. So, to Jimmy's point earlier, that's it's like $500,000.
Yeah.
All right, so there we go. We've got James and Sean in studio for us. James, what's your last name?
Barry.
James Barry and Sean?
Buckley.
Sean Buckley. James Barry and Sean Buckley. Now, James, you play Carl Perkins.
Yep.
And Sean, you got Elvis, man.
Yeah.
He does have a little bit of the
Yeah, he's
hair.
got the look.
Oh, thank you. I've always been told that I had a face for radio.
That's right. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, welcome to the group.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're all here.
So, okay. Take us through the process of I guess, audition and getting involved in this in general.
Well, I think a lot of us have taken a lot of different paths to get here, but, we all grew up passionate about theater and passionate about rock and roll, and the fact that we get to have a gig that combines all those loves is, dream job territory.
Absolutely. What about you, Sean? How did it work out for you?
Yeah, I mean, much the same. I started theater as a kid and kind of decided I wanted to be an actor somewhere around the time I was 12. Really practical career choice.
I don't want to say you look young, but was that last year?
Yeah, I'm looking at this guy when I was a kid. And I'm like,
He's playing the young Elvis, not the...
Right.
Now, I got real quick. I got to ask Carl Perkins over here. You have like 2 bottles of water. What 2 different brands there?
Oh, I just came with one and they gave me another.
Okay.
My cup runneth over.
You've hit the big time now, my man.
That's right.
So maybe you're mixing the water.
Are we sure water's in the other one? It's too early for me.
Yeah. Now, where are you guys from originally?
I grew up in northeastern Connecticut. I lived in Chicago for a while. I lived in New York City for 10 years, and now I live in western Mass.
Okay. What about you, Sean?
Originally, I'm from the Metro Detroit area, so not too far from here, and I've been in New York for the last 5 years.
Okay. The guys you're playing, we're talking about rock and roll giants here. And what's the pressure like on that? Trying to bring it there every night.
Well, I think Sean might have a little bit more pressure.
It's tough. You have to strike that balance between evoking who Elvis was and who, the image of Elvis without imitating. You still want to be a real live person on stage, and it's particularly tough with Elvis because everybody has a different memory of who Elvis was.
Sure, over the years.
Yeah, people remember him from the 70s. Or from, and this is, 1956, so Elvis was 21, 22, and he had just finished doing his first motion picture, Love Me Tender, so... still wearing the suit jacket and bouncing around with the guitar. So
$1 Million Quartet. Put us in that time period. Is this the old lore of where everybody showed up at Sun Records at the same time, like that particular day? Tell us about this.
Exactly. It's December 4th, 1956. Carl Perkins has a recording session booked to record the song Matchbox that the Beatles would later record. They recorded a few Carl Perkins songs.
Right.
But he's there. Sam Phillips is hired, a then completely unknown 19, 20-year-old kid named Jerry Lee Lewis to play piano on the session.
Jeez.
Johnny Cash comes by to pick up a paycheck, and Elvis is home from Hollywood for the first time visiting his parents, and it all just sort of happened. The play takes the events from about a year and kind of helps squeeze them into one day for maximum storytelling effect. But what's super cool about it, especially in the Hannah Theater, Great Lakes Theater, is the back row is so close. So it's I've done it in a lot of big barns, and it plays beautifully everywhere. Yeah. But that type of intimate venue where you really, really feel like you're a fly on the wall in this little recording studio. So this is a really special production. I've done this hundreds of times all over the country, and this one has a real magic to it.
When does it run?
We're open now, and we run through May 26th, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Sunday, May 26th, we close. And we're doing 8 shows a week. You can check the website for all the different times, but yeah, and I think it's selling really well, so I'm really excited.
I never thought about that. Your point about, these are obviously it's a recording studio, so it's not like you have to scream to each other to talk to each other.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you were just simply in a recording studio, not unlike what we do here, but in theater, you've got to, emote. You got to get it back to the back rows, you said, but with that back row so close, it can be more conversational.
Yes, yeah, and a lot of the subtle stuff plays, or you see, there's a main scene going on, and then you're like, what are those two guys up to back there?
Yeah.
So you can kind of split your focus and get involved in a bunch of different storylines.
Was there anything that happened, I mean, in the script itself, as you guys were looking over the script and learning it, that you thought, holy cow, did this really happen on this particular day? Was there anything like that?
Well, what do you think? I mean, I think that we definitely play up. I mean, historically, yes. I don't want to give too much of the story away if people haven't seen it, but everyone sort of Carl Perkins and Johnny Cash are both set to leave Sun for Columbia Records for various personal reasons, and them telling Sam Phillips that they were leaving on the same day did not happen.
Oh,
so we're kind of taking, again, that's what I mean by the events of a year. So all the information we divulge is pretty much factual. It just didn't all happen on that day.
Now, we're talking about $1 Million Quartet. Will we see one of the guys drinking from a Starbucks cup?
Accidentally leave one on the console there.
We can edit it out.
Yeah, you can always take that.
Bottle of water wasn't around.
That's right. That's right. And the king sits on the Iron Throne.
Why do I have a feeling? Do you have any guys who dress up like Elvis going to the show?
I've yet to see that.
Okay,
I haven't seen. I've seen it before. But
I could just see Elvis impersonators showing up and then going, "Hey, man, let me tell you how this is done."
It's why you get a row of the gals with like the leopard print baseball jackets, and
yes,
because there's a very special. I don't want to give it away for Sean, but Elvis has a special audience interaction moment in the end. If you love Elvis, sit up close. That's all I'm gonna say.
Let me ask you this. What about personally, who do you listen to musically? What are some of your favorite artists?
Oh, wow. I mean, I think everyone in the cast has pretty broad taste. I mean, I think the Beatles were my first love in life, but I mean, my parents' record collection was great,
Yeah.
I was raised on The Who and Simon and Garfunkel and Leonard Cohen and Stevie Wonder and, just all the great stuff. And, I'm into all kinds of stuff now.
Yeah, I was listening to Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and my Johnny Jump Up as a teen.
And your Johnny
Jump Up.
We call that the circle of neglect. Go in there, buddy. I gotta do something.
Neglect. Oh, that's fantastic.
No, it was teaching him rhythm. You could bounce up and down in rhythm.
Awesome. Well, get out and see these guys. If the show is anything like what we've got in here, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Great Lakes Theater, $1 Million Quartet. It's rolling now. Get your tickets. Get out there and take a look before it gets out. Thanks a lot, guys, for coming in. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
You got it. It is 7:12, almost 7:13 now. It's the Magic Morning Show. Let's get a check.
He's out there somewhere.
The Killer, Jerry Lee Lewis, who was in town a few years ago for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions. And there was a special night back in the 50s when they all got together, and the Hannah Theater, part of our wonderful Playhouse Square downtown with the Great Lakes Theater, going to be performing the Tony Award-winning play about that special night. Johnny Cash also there that night. News Radio WTAM 1100. Bill Wills, Mike Snyder alongside the guys playing the Killer, and Johnny in studio. Sky Seal. Sky, can you do Johnny? I mean, it's early in the morning, I know, but I mean...
hi there.
Good enough.
Johnny Cash.
I like that. Way to go. And Gabe, it's Aronson, right?
That's right.
I want to make sure you get the name right, Gabe.
You nailed it.
I mean, you're the killer, man.
Aronson.
In studio, the guys part of what is being done at Great Lakes. First of all, this is the 57th season of Great Lakes, and I know both of you, Sky, you actually have a theater company yourself. First of all, we love theater in our town. We're second to New York in seats at Playhouse Square. Hannah's such a unique area. We're so proud of our theater district, number one, guys. Welcome to town.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here, and it's great to see such a vibrant community here, too.
Well, we're looking forward to it. And the $1 Million Quartet, a Tony Award winner, too. Congratulations on being on this, first of all.
Yeah, absolutely.
A true
we all
blessing.
won Tonys.
You know, guys, it was, take us through it. Like each night I was talking a little bit with you before we hit the air about how each night is different for you as you go through the playlist and the play itself. But it really was a mystical night. Gabe, for you, Jerry, you're the killer.
Yeah.
As you researched this and prepared, take us through that a little bit.
The preparation process was a lot more a physical one than an emotional one or mental one. First off, because I've never played rockabilly piano before doing this show, and when they showed me everything that I had to kind of put into it, it was daunting. But of course, I was like, oh yeah, that's fine, I can do that, But after about 3 weeks, my hands were just covered in calluses and cuts and bruises and all that stuff. But it's just so much fun. And after doing this for almost 3 years now, it's just such a fun sport every night. You go and you're just putting everything out there. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Sky, for you, Johnny Cash, and you're on the stage with Elvis and Carl Perkins and Jerry Lee Lewis. Take us through your mind going through it every night after night.
Well, they're on stage with me, actually.
Oh, right.
So, no, I try and really capture the camaraderie and the friendship that they all had. Elvis and Johnny Cash had kind of come up at the same time, working on the back of a flatbed truck. Doing concerts, driving around through the night, and before they were kind of creating what it meant to be a rock star at this time. This mythos didn't exist yet, and so to be at the vanguard of that, and to be with your friends as well, and to kind of see them split off and see him go off and do movies, and Johnny's getting famous, and kind of dealing with that. That's what's happening in this show at 1956. Is that it's very fresh, it's very new. They're all making it up as they go along, and all they've got is each other and the music.
Gabe, on that point, and Sky, talk about this too. Both guys in town with at the Hannah Theater. For these two, everybody knows Johnny Cash and Jerry Lee Lewis. So is there more pressure as an actor, Gabe? I mean, you're going to show us Jerry Lee at a different age. Don't get me wrong, but you're playing somebody that everybody knows.
There's not really a pressure, because if you're having fun with the job, then people are going to have fun with you, and you do want to get certain mannerisms and certain characteristic things right, and that goes in the research. But if you're a fan of music and a fan of the show, as an actor, you're going to want to do all that work and learn who these people were. And Jerry Lee was such a wild, controversial character for back then and for now, and it's sort of an actor's dream to just have that escape and take on all those different traits, but you still get to make it your own and find yourself in it.
Sky, Mike Snyder and I were joking earlier. At some point, I think everybody finds Cash. They find Cash's music. I mean, at a certain age, you finally find. Dylan called him the true north. At some time, you understand what Cash was doing, right? Mm-hmm. And that's fun.
Absolutely. And I didn't grow up necessarily with Johnny Cash music. I grew up, listening to the Beatles and the Doors and Pink Floyd and all the stuff my parents listened to. But once I got this role, and especially actually after seeing the movie Walk the Line, that kind of awoke a little bit more interest in it. And I read his autobiography, and just a fascinating, strong. Almost mythological American character, that we really are drawn to for lots of that everyone's kind of drawn to, whether you're drawn to what him being an outlaw or a spiritual man or just the music itself. Yeah.
And I think the night was kind of really cool about this, though. They weren't all scheduled initially to be there, right? This just kind of happened, didn't it, Gabe?
Yeah. It was a Carl Perkins recording session. They were recording Matchbox, and Johnny Cash was in town, right? Like
Elvis came into town for the first time after doing a film, and Johnny Cash was still living there. But the story is he came in to just pick up his paycheck, and they all happened to be there for a little bit. Jerry Lee was playing. He was a hired piano player,
right.
relative, totally unknown, 19-year-old. And so
up and coming.
Yeah, nobody really knew who he was quite yet.
Another story where you follow the money. So he came in for the check, and that's
right,
what happened.
that's right.
Yeah. Great Lakes Theater, Cleveland's classy company, $1 Million Quartet, the Tony Award-winning rock and roll tribute in town. Get your tickets. More at GreatLakesTheater.org as Gabe and Sky and the rest of them are on stage portraying some classics. And real quick, Gabe, you're out of Southern California. Impressive. Mike Snyder, this guy plays about every instrument and has some of his own music up on Apple. That's a good cut here. A little by your side, Gabe, huh?
Well, this is the first.
Hey, all right.
Very nice.
It's a good sound. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate you playing it.
And you're getting your music out there, man.
I
That's
love
good
it.
for you.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Check it out. All right, guys, thanks for coming in. Good luck. Great meeting you, okay?
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
What
you.
a
By the way,
pleasure.
Yul Brenner was on that stage once, too, at the Hannah, so you guys are
We can
sharing the
feel
stage
it. We
with
can
some
feel
history
it.
there.
Nice.
Have fun. Enjoy. Enjoy.